Okay, race 1 on Saturday at Mission Bay, and outstanding job staying on the wind and sailing. Overbend wrinkles really big on the sails there, so you're trimmed pretty good right now, but before the race we were about 1.5 inches looser on our main sheets there. And so during the race we got a little bound up, a little tight on the main sheet. Very good. Ease out on the main sheet. There you go. So race 1, Mission Bay Yacht Club, Earl Elms Memorial. We got Maddie in 21 and Stella in 22. First time they've traveled outside Coronado Yacht Club for a race. Very nice. Okay, this guy's first place in seat 2. See how he's sitting with tiny bit of heel to leeward, just a tiny bit. Look where his boom is. It's actually outside the corner a little. Outhaul's pretty tight. Cunningham's barely on. Top of the leech looks like it's flowing all the time. That telltale up there is. Here you are downwind. The sails weren't out far enough on the run. Okay? And now you're, before this point right here, you are looking at other boats going upwind. So as you get close to the mark, you are looking at the angles of the boats so that you know where you're going to come out. Okay, again, we're just getting the main sheet a little bit tight. See how crunched down we are in the back? And before in our practice, we were probably 3 inches looser than that. That's very normal to do. You get in the race and you start squeezing, but those big wrinkles indicating we're tighter on the main sheet. Maddie looks perfect right there, and you can see her sail's a little fuller, so she's got a little more speed going right then. So Maddie could actually come in 1/2 inch, Stella out 1/2 inch, and they'd be exactly the same sail shape. But this is good. They do not know the correct course. So oh, character building. Still in race 1. Leeboard angle, really good. Sail setup, really good, other than we've been over trimming the main a little. We'll work on that for race 2. So good job putting your boat together and setting up your leeboard. Okay, first race on Saturday, there's first, there's second, really good heel on these guys' boats. There's third over there, fourth, fifth, sixth. Here comes Stella maybe in 7th, right there, right on the wind. No tighter on the main sheet. You can see the leech starting to hook because she's got that boom cinched down towards the stern a little too much. There's Maddie. Okay, she's tacked on a very shy ley line. No problem. You've sailed well. So Maddie could potentially get around here in 8th or 9th. And that's a good race in a, what, almost 20 boat. The last leeward mark of race 1. And you guys are right with each other again. Maddie just need to trim faster at the leeward mark. Race 2 on Saturday. We got 30 seconds to go. The starting line is not pin favored this time. Stella needed to stop back in the middle here. She's too early at this time for that end. So she needed to slow down more in this area. Maddie's in very good shape right here. So she should, 9, 8, 7. She should trim in hard. Oh no, that was 5. Okay, he's done it different. Okay, our goals for this race are to not trim quite so hard on our main sheets upwind. For Maddie is also to not tack in behind people, to give herself a little more space around others. I can tell Maddie likes this boat better. We put her, I don't know if you can see her through there, but she's sitting on the rail. The first kid in the C3's really to be sitting on the rail, so that means she's got the telltales really flying well. Her mainsail looks perfect. There's Stella back in 22, a little behind. Definitely trimmed looser this race than the Stella doing quite well here. Maddie's out in front of her, doing extremely well, hiking out over there. Okay, nice tack by Stella there. Immediately tack. There's Maddie popping out 21 over there on the rail. Beauty. Okay, smaller checklist. Maddie coming around in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Good improvement. She started really well. She got on the rail and was just feeling it upwind. Here we go. Port tack must be good. Nice job. 3 on Saturday. There's the C2 fleet. So at 1.5 minutes, we should have taken a look up there, get an idea of the angles of the fleet ahead. We got 30 seconds to go here. Stella's here. She should stop. She's very early. She just dump the main and stop. Okay, I don't see Maddie right now.
20 seconds.
Oh, they're right next to each other. Perfect. You're gonna fit in my screen here. Now you should both be heading up.
10 seconds.
Maddie is right of way right now. Telltale's hanging.
9931, you're over.
Not a bad start, near the line. Now the thing to remember about starting is that what wins races is after the start. But we are working on having good starts, but the start is not every first. Race 3 on Saturday. There's second. There's third, fourth, fifth. Looks like Stella's about sixth. So got our mainsail trimmed better that time. We started better. What we're working on now is sailing our own boat. We only look at other boats just to guide us a little so we're in the ballpark, making sure we're not on a reach or something. But the rest of the time we're just in our own boat, looking at the wind, looking at the telltales, and just keeping the thing going. Good job. Okay, race 3, there's first, second, third, fourth, fifth is Stella. Boom Vang could be pulled on a little. Haven't really taught her about downwind setting. 6th, 7th, here's Maddie. Her leeboard is quite far forward and she's sailing quite well. Looks great. The sail looks almost exactly 90. Okay, here we go. 5th place for Stella right now. 6th, 7th for Maddie. And we're using those boats as our guide, so we want to get on that angle or close to it right after the leeward mark. The key to the leeward mark is starting this leg as close to the finish line as you can. Now all we're trying to do is make sure we don't tack behind anybody over here, stay on the wind, and just get a clear lane. Race 4 on Saturday, 30 seconds to go. Maddie's in a great spot right here. At lunch, we talked about only using other boats as guides for us, not focusing on them, making sure that we're just not losing a lot going in different direction. I just did a demonstration on how to hold position at the start, and they're both right there again. 5, 4, 3. Let's see if they do a good job. Last race was a good race for this first travel regatta for these two. Nice start, Maddie. This is her first time she's traveled away from Coronado Yacht Club, and that's a good start. So Maddie's there on starboard tack still, number 21. Every single one of these kids ahead of her, top 5, are kids that are on their 10th to 15th travel regatta. So these kids have a lot of experience. Maybe their 10th regatta that they've traveled to. There we go. Then Maddie tacked right there, coming this way. Very good. That looks really good. Right on the wind. Okay, we talked about leeward mark roundings, coming around and staying on close hauled port tack. Rarely do we come around and tack onto starboard down there. That was a good rounding, girl. She came around, sail was in. Now you can do what you want. You're looking at other boats around you to make sure you have a clear lane, flying your telltales, and then pointing towards the finish line. Okay, let's see how Maddie does on this one. We got a little stuck at the windward mark because we got a little competitive. We were trying to squeeze too high onto the wind. And again, we can't look at the mark as much as focus on just maintaining our speed. Okay, she could have trimmed a little quicker on that, but that was a good rounding. Stayed on port tack. Very good.
2, 6, 3. Power boat. Please stay back. We've got a racer.
Okay, this is the A fleet on Saturday, so compare yourselves to them. It's windier out here, and you can see their feathering. You can see the front of their sails will luff a tiny bit. And they're on the rail, most of them. Oh, there's a couple of adults racing in this fleet. So they got A fleet and adults together, it looks like. Look at where their booms are. You're gonna see their booms are quite tight to the back of the boat. It's gonna vary a little bit, but not much. So 10275 is probably 6 inches eased from all the way in. The guys over there look looser, but we're looking at the shape of the sail. That sail's too full, so he's got to get the outhaul on. Anyway, you can see the difference between this fleet and the C3 fleet. A little faster through the water. Okay, this is the B fleet start. This is probably their 4th race. You can see the overbend wrinkles. These kids have their mains nice and not tight, but not too tight. You know, it's really good conditions. A little bit choppier out here, so they are having to be playing their main sheet a little. If the boat gets slow, you got to ease out an inch or two and just not point quite as high. But if you can get going, that boat's really trimmed tight. Sitting a little too far back, doing a little bit of a wheelie. So this is the B fleet. Okay, so this is C1 start. What number race, Jimmer?
3.
Race 3 on Saturday, C1 fleet. We're looking at 10094, 8223, and 9046. Not bad. Boat end was favored, so 10243 won that start. Tommy tacked right away. That's fine. Nice clear lane. Just go fast. When you do that tack, get the boat moving fast, and then on the wind. He looks pretty good there. Maybe a little off the pace. Now, Tommy's at 110 pounds, so he has to sail. You know, in this wind, it's hard for him to get on the rail, where you're going to see everybody else able to get on the rail. That makes a big difference in speed in a Sabot. When you can get on the rail and not heel to windward. Now we actually have to lean our shoulders back a little as the boat pounds into a wave. So when you see the bow going down, you're trying to lessen the impact by just leaning back a little through the choppy moments. Not much. You keep your butt in the same spot pretty much. You just lean your shoulders back. Then when it gets flat water, you just sit normal again. That looks really good, guys. Open leeches. And that's pretty good in a Sabot. Sabot's really challenged to get the main just right. It changes a lot. Preston's a little more open leech than Sean. We're going to look at him. I think Sean is faster, but better under trim than over trim. Here's Sean. Let's see if the leech looks a little... Oh, we got a feather a little bit more. Feather. He's fighting the tiller a little too hard. Just got to let the boat go up and the windward telltales dance a little and then just relax. Not super overhike. Oh, got to get on the wind. Oh, good. Tommy's flying upwind, so he's already in the top 4 in his fleet, and he's doing really well. This is plenty of wind for him to be on the rail. There he is. Good. His main is flatter than Preston's. He's got the boom. He's set up with a different rig, but still, his sail is much flatter. Preston's a little too open. See how we need to bend the mast a little bit, a little more main sheet tension. So Tommy's probably 3rd. These guys are 1st and 2nd. He's the guy who won the start. So Tommy's not that far behind. So a little higher with a little tighter main there. Preston. Full of sail there. Just more main sheet tension and the sail would be full flatter. Okay, A fleeter here. It's about 10 knots of wind, maybe 9. You can see he's hiking a little, but not hiking too hard. I wish I could get closer so we could look at how his main sheet's tighter than Preston, so his sail is flatter. Flatter sail in this wind is less drag. So you're able to get upwind easier because you have less drag on the sail. Okay, here, this girl is really good.